Well, you know, I've seen a lot of big changes since 1978. There's been a whole evolution in law enforcement, especially county law enforcement. Probably one of the biggest was in about '82 when we began to move towards civil service. That afforded for the first time an opportunity for sheriff's officers to know that they could have an unimpeded career and be able to work up through their goals and objectives. I think probably that changed the mindset on how sheriff's officers work and how police in general could structure their career. Personally, coming in as sheriff, some of the goals and objectives I have set for myself include being able to utilize the civil service more. You know, I have some personal goals and objectives as sheriff. I think it's my responsibility to be kind of like an owner of a big business. My job is to see that the tools, the funding is there to help my officers do the best job they can. To that end, I like the management style of the inverted triangle. I see that it is my responsibility, along with my senior staff, to see that we have the training, the funding, the encouragement to the men and women of the Hammond County Sheriff's Department, and we're close to 400 personnel to go out there and do the job. Personally, I have some goals as sheriff. Not only am I the business head of the department, but I think I'm kind of the captain at the helm. It's up to me to set the course for where we're going. There's some key things to me. One is to hire the best men and women for the job we can find. Secondly is to see that they get the best training they can to do the job, to protect the citizens of this county. CALEA, which is the national accreditation standards for law enforcement, very important to me for us to accomplish that. American Correctional Association standards, so that we can have the best accreditation for the jail possible. These are some of the things I want to pursue. That's kind of a hot button topic here in this area. You've got the city of Chattanooga, who is the largest in terms of their police department size. Hamilton County, who's jurisdictionally has responsibility for the whole county, and we're no small department either. And the question comes up, should we consider a consolidation or even a metro government? I don't think the mood of the public right there is toward metro government. I do think there's services that can be consolidated. We're already doing some of that. We're working on training issues together. We could have joint operations when it comes to SWAT team, fugitive division. These are things that I think, in combination with the fact that we already have the responsibility of operating the jail, the SRO program, the school resource officer. So certainly we can do a better job of merging some of these services where it makes sense. The bigger issue of whether or not you should have one major law enforcement, I don't think the time or the mood is right for that in Hamilton County. We do see an increase in the gangs. There's probably 15 to 20 very serious gangs operating in this area. You have a lot of wannabes. You have a lot of kids that just want to associate with their peer group, and to that extent they may be a gang that's a good gang that is not involved in criminal activity, or a bad gang that is involved in criminal activity. I think it behooves the sheriff to work with the city on task force, because gangs don't know boundaries. They operate in the unincorporated areas just like they do in the incorporated areas. So to that extent, I've already had my major crimes division formed with the city of Chattanooga and some of the municipalities for us to supply not only the intelligence gathering, but also to go out and do some operations. We rely heavily on our SRO officers in the schools to gather intel for this. We rely heavily on our correctional division to look at those who we know are attached to gangs, who are put in jail, to do intel work so that we can disseminate that information. So there's a lot of room for a task force in working with gangs. You know, I have a long history with the Hammond County Sheriff's Office, going back to the early '70s. I'm very proud to have served here at the Sheriff's Office. I'm very proud of the men and women who serve here in the Sheriff's Office. I think we've got a family atmosphere with close to 400 personnel. We have a high degree of education among our officers here, both men and women. We've made some enormous strides in the development of the Sheriff's Office to being a top cop organization. The level of education, the level of training, the level of can-do attitude when they're out there. We have put into place some ways we can honor some of our own officers. Our challenge coin, where we present a coin to officers who go beyond the normal required duties out there. We have what we call the roll call. It's a monthly publication where we can keep in touch with what's going on with individual families, both on the job and off the job. We also have an email system where everything that goes on in the department is sent out on what we call the all sheriff line. So people stay in touch. You know, we're 24/7, 3 shifts out there, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with almost 400 personnel. It's very hard to stay in communication. So these are some of the things we do to recognize what our officers do for us here at the Hammond County Sheriff's Office. You know, as a sheriff, I am a politician, but I'm also a law enforcement officer, and I have to balance the needs of what my constituents expect of me as sheriff with the fact that I have sworn to uphold the laws of the state of Tennessee. I have surrounded myself with a staff that's very capable of doing that. I have to remember that the men and women who work for me, and they're the backbone of the department, they're the ones that see the job gets done. So I have to give them the tools and at the same time allow them the freedom to do the job. I have certain goals that I think answer both my political needs, but also meet the needs of what the citizens expect and the safety and security they have out there. To that end, there are some programs that I certainly want to accomplish in my administration over the next 4 years. I'm strongly interested in seeing that we bring to fruition the CALEA, the National Accreditation for Law Enforcement, the American Correctional Association accreditation for our correctional division. I'm very interested in seeing that our career development officer comes to fruition, where an officer can begin their career here. They are mentored the steps that they're going to take during their career. I'm interested in the technology. There's some great things going out there in technology. A lot of them are very expensive, but through grants and through our ability to show that as a department we are certified, I think we can develop some technology that's going to help us in the crime fighting tools. So the goals for me for the next 4 years is to be able to balance my role as a politician with my role as a law enforcement officer, and seeing that the citizens of Hamilton County who have come to expect excellence in law enforcement, that we deliver that to them.